The UN Sustainable Development Goals were adopted in September of last year with the objective of ending poverty and fighting climate change. We frequently hear of opportunities and challenges in Africa and elsewhere. The Arctic is no less deserving of the development than any other region. But we have an obligation to its inhabitants and to the region to do so in a sustainable manner. The Arctic is filled with economic potential in areas of shipping, renewable energy, the blue economy, as well as other often overlooked sectors. We must ensure that infrastructure needs are met. While this is a global challenge, it is particularly acute in the Arctic. UN estimates that nearly $5 trillion annual requirement for sustainable development. Infrastructure needs in the Arctic are likely to total more than $1 trillion over the next 15 years. But we must not overlook the areas of innovation where the contribution of the Arctic can be unique compared to other regions. Biopharmaceuticals, geothermal energy, cold data storage, terrestrial high-speed internet are all examples of things which are often not looked upon as infrastructure, but opportunities which must be funded. These are all areas where Arctic has specific advantages or unique possibilities to lead the world in a new, innovative direction. We've spent the last 2 years assembling this list, and as we've done so, the needs have come into focus. In order for the Arctic to realize its potential, we must raise $1 trillion in investment. The IMF estimates that for every dollar spent on infrastructure, economic output will increase by $3. As you can see by the chart, there are a large number of projects planned, but our best estimate of that purple line that you see there is that only about 10% of what is planned is currently underway. In addition, the gray bar tells you what we have estimated based upon our discussions and research will have to still be put on the drawing board. Another thing that we've realized in this 2 years of research is that the list of projects doesn't constitute an inventory. The next step is a thorough assessment of the genuine sustainability of each project and then the projects collectively, for their effect on local environment and ecosystems, the impact on local communities and the indigenous peoples, the position within the regulatory framework which exists in each Arctic state, and of course, the project needs to be economically and financially viable. In the final analysis, these considerations must be done before a project is executed. Today, as opposed to just a few years ago, there is over $2 trillion worth of cash sitting on corporate balance sheets around the world. That number prior to the financial crisis was more in the order of $200 billion. This pool of cash represents a unique opportunity to raise money to finance infrastructure in the Arctic. This capital seeks a long-term opportunity for modest, stable returns. Infrastructure offers stable cash flows, predictable returns, and low correlations with other asset classes in which they might invest. The current demand for infrastructure can be seen here, which shows this is the demand on the investment side, which shows that major types of institutional investors in their current investments in infrastructure alongside their as yet unmet goals. If these investors were to be matched with attractive projects, we estimate that there would be an additional $300 billion invested annually in infrastructure. Our goal should be the creation of a permanent capital vehicle to channel the demand from investors into Arctic projects in a sustainable manner. This vehicle would leverage capital commitments from long-term investors under a public-private partnership. Importantly, any project receiving financing from this vehicle would be bound by the Arctic Investment Protocol, ensuring development takes place in a safe, sustainable manner. If we are successful in creating the infrastructure the Arctic region needs, we will not only see a transformed Arctic, but a transformed world. For us, the next step is more communication to move this agenda forward. We have a great opportunity before us, but if we fall behind, then we may have even more grave consequences in the long run. It's important that we take this issue seriously in terms of developing the infrastructure of the Arctic, not only for the people that live there, but for the rest of the people in the world.